Welcome to all the mini enthusiasts again. Okay, so as you can see, I've put the arches on. There's a couple of points a couple of things I want to point out to you is these are the original arches that were on it, which have been pretty badly repaired, but they're different in the fact that they had these tags on them where you bolted them through. These ones, the bolts come with them, so they're a different arch. The holes that were on the back of the car completely did not line up, so be careful, you know, which ones you're doing. If you're doing it for the first time or you're changing them, make sure the studs are in the right places. But you can see this one's cracked. The one on the opposite side was completely damaged, and the back ones are damaged. So that's why I ended up getting new ones. But you know, the cracking, once they crack, they're really not worth hanging on to. But if you look here, before I take this apart, you can see that when I put them together, that is in completely the wrong place for that repeater hole. You can see it; it's really obvious. But that was on the other wing, and I didn't really notice it. But now, obviously, I've got that right spot on. It's right where it should be. These are not bolted up at all; they're just sat on. So I'll go through a couple of things with you. When you're putting on these wings as well, make sure that you line this up to here, because when you put the extrusion on at the end, this should be body colour, it should all line up. And rather than cut this, you can see on this one that it's been cut here. Now all that does is weaken the arch, and any cutting on fiberglass, you go through the material and it's where it starts to crack. So I've tried to not cut the arches where possible. Some places you have to. So what I've done is I've actually put a split here, and I'm going to leave the bottom one on, plus the strengthener. And what I was saying yesterday about using this piece, there's no problem with that at all. I mean, you know, it's the piece you cut out. What I would suggest though is that you make it one piece, so that when you put it on, because if you put that back into that piece and then a separate one there and a separate one there, they're not going to have any strength. So I would suggest if you're going to put them on, weld them all back together and make it, or preferably by this extension, because this is nowhere near as strong as the one is on there. You can feel it's flexing. Anyway, so I'll take this off and show you. So basically it's just bolted on, and you can see there where the tabs are. Make sure you really grease these off. So I've got, as you can see, I've got the stiffener in there, but I've got to take this apart because all the scuttle and everything needs to go on, and I'll line it up. A couple of points. What I'll do is I'll pick the camera up and I'll show you what I'm doing. So you can. What I've done here is you can see that's all going to be. I've got to put enough clamps on it, so I'll weld that all the way inside once all's finished. And here, and then what I'll do is, you can see here I've put this piece into it. That was a piece that I cut out, and I'll be careful of that next time. So that will line up, as you can see, with there. So we end up with a nice arch all the way through. And what I'll do is I'll actually lead load that when I put this lip on here. So I'm going to lead load this so it's at an angle here all the way down. Yeah, and then it'll be one piece and it'll look nice, and it'll stiffen it right up. And you can see there I've put a split in it. You can see there I've put a split in it. And then when you put this piece on down here, you can actually cut it a little bit loose, because then you don't have to cut the arch every time, or if you damage it or whatever, and you can make it sit, you make the profile sit nicer rather than a big hole here. It doesn't look very nice. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, the other piece is not on, but you can see what I mean. It just looks shitty. Okay, this is bigger because obviously the piece that goes on is thicker, so you have to take into account for that. Okay, on the back one, you can see you do have to cut here. This is an old one, I haven't put a new one in, but you can get these in different colours, but I'll put a new one on. But you can see and again, this is just fit, it's just held on like that. So you can see there I actually put, these were the original holes, here, 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 here and here. This is the only one that fitted, so I had to make 1, 2, 3 new ones. Sorry, 4 new ones. And this is a piece that I've got a lead load yet, It's not only got a lead loader here, but here, even though the arch is over the top, I still will do it. Okay, and last thing, I've got a couple of emails, one from Simon, one from Matt Green, about these rubbers here. Apparently you can do it with rubber, which is what's on here at the moment. You can do it with nylon, and you can do it with aluminium. Now apparently the nylon ones is kind of in the middle range, and there's virtually no movement with them, but it's still not metal to metal, so I'm going to go for the nylon ones as Matt suggested, and because the aluminium ones apparently can get a bit of bang in, but I mean minis are not exactly soundproof anyway, they are quite tinny. But make sure that you've got the kit, so you get one to go in there and one to go on top there, and otherwise it'll be out of alignment. But I'm going to go for the nylon ones now instead of the aluminium, so at least there's some different contact metal, or metal than the spacer, the nylon spacer, then metal and so on, because I think otherwise it kind of bang a bit, who knows. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for all that information, Simon, I really appreciate it. This is the great thing about YouTube, it just, you know, the guys can pass your stuff on. I mean, I'm building this car from scratch, and now is the time for people to say, you know, that's not right, this is right. You know, when it's in this state, there's nothing worse than when you've already done it and then it's too late. So I do appreciate all the comments and all the constructive help and whatever. And if you've got any criticisms or you've got any things you want to say or state, then please do, because you know we all want to learn. And I think you're a stupid man if you don't learn something every day or listen to advice. You know, a lot of people say advice is free because it's rubbish, but that's absolutely not the case. You get advice and tips, and then you use your intelligence to work out what's right and what's wrong, or which way to go with it. Anyway, so that's where we are. Now I'm going to take all this apart and prepare everything, because I have to get everything ready to. I have to punch all the holes in these returned edges here. Sorry about the light, in the returned edges. But what I'll do is I'll do them under here. I'll do them inside here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll do them underneath. So when I turn the car upside down, it'll be easy to spot weld all the way round, rather than put them on the top flange because the wing's in the way. So you know, here, all these pieces, you know, do them nice so they look good. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching in. Appreciate all the comments, and hopefully you don't have any issues with yours, and everything works nice. But I'm quite pleased with that. It's gone in quite well. Oh, that was another point as well. Not just having that central, but also here. This should come in line with this. If they're crunched up too much, it'll come back. So to me, that should be in that line, and then you've got the black edging on the side, which you can either put in or put up to the edge. Anyway, so that's it. Looking tomorrow for another update, but what I have to do now obviously is put the two wings on and then try the bonnet on. You know, because obviously the bonnet line is really important, so I need to know that everything fits. Then I can mark it all, put the scuttle in, and go from there. Oh, and by the way, that top panel is I managed to save it. It was just surface rust, so I've cleaned it up. So what I'll do is I'll build that new piece into it now this afternoon, and we'll go from there. So there we go. Okay, take care and bye from now. And I hope you have no issues with your wheel arches. Just take it easy, a little bit at a time. Don't rush it, and you know, it'll come out all right. Just don't force them because they are fiberglass. Anyway, take care. Bye for now. Bye.